Hello, welcome to Hair Talk with Tess, episode 2. I kind of didn't talk about the first video that I made. I posted a lot of clips from it, but I didn't talk about it. And to be honest, it's because I don't really like it. But that's okay. I'm not going to delete it because the information in there is good. I just want to make sure that I touch on certain topics and maybe structure it a little bit differently. Like I had mentioned in the last video, I am going to be filming a long form video and then clipping different segments and uploading them as well. So if you're watching this long form video and you want to stick around and you're interested in all the knowledge, I would love to have you. But if you are just interested in one specific topic, pop on over to my YouTube page and you will see the other uploads for the specific segments within this video. We are now in 2024. The last video I filmed in December of 2023, and it's interesting to reflect on what was going on in my life back then, even though it was only a month ago. And here we are in 2024. We made it. I keep finding myself saying that to people. I'm like, we did it. We made it to 2024. And I just kind of say it subconsciously, and I think that's something that I've been saying subconsciously since 2020. 2024 has been pretty good for me though. I have just been having a great time working on projects and finishing up projects and hanging out with friends and just really enjoying the new year and the vibes that come along with that. It kind of relates to the corny saying of like, new year, new me, which I say corny, but it can be impactful for some people. But I just always think about like the new energy that comes into the world and our lives because it's a new year, you know? The energy this year has been pretty high so far, and I hope to keep it up. I'm hoping that 2024 is a good year. A few of the goals that I have are just to kind of do me more. I just want to figure out who I am in life a little bit more, what I like in life a little bit more, kind of hang out with myself. I just want to do life by my terms for a second and really lean into enjoying that. If you have any New Year's resolutions or goals that you want to share, feel free to let me know what they are. I would love to hear them. All right, now let's get into talking about the things that you're actually here to talk about. And the first topic that I really want to dive into today is color maintenance. How do you maintain your color? What are some ways to keep it looking nice? But also, let's talk about what causes color to fade or look dull in the first place. There are quite a few factors that can play a role in causing your color to fade. To list off the main ones really quickly, we got hot water, hard water, poor heat practices, and bad or cheap products. You probably hear stylists talk about some or all of these things all the time, and there's a reason for that. These things are important and they're also kind of easy things to change. So I just want to talk about why each of those categories is problematic, and we can talk about some ways to solve the problem. First, we're getting into hot water. Ooh, we're getting into some hot water. I'm just kidding. None of these topics should be controversial. I don't think they're controversial. We touched on the topic of hot water in the last episode, but I talked about it in more of a relation to dryness, not necessarily color retention. But some of the same things that cause your hair to be dry due to hot water also apply to why it might cause your color to fade. First things first, I'm going to mention this so much, is that it opens the cuticle. Since I'm going to mention it so much, I want to talk very quickly about what that means. So your hair is made up of 3 main layers. The outermost layer is called the cuticle. Now the cuticle is where most of your moisture and your color and your toners sit. They sit right under the cuticle. Basically, the chemical process of hair color is that it oxidizes and opens up the cuticle, deposits that color in, and then it balances itself out or neutralizes itself and closes the cuticle, locking in that color. So when you do things to disrupt the cuticle, that means not only are you releasing moisture from the hair strand, you are also allowing those color molecules to escape and fade and look dull way more quickly. So hot water opens the cuticle. It also has clarifying or stripping characteristics, which, like I said, we talked about this in the last video as well, so I'm not going to touch on that too much, but it will strip or clarify your hair. And these things can cause your hair to be more dry, and with dryness, your hair will lose shine and luster, which can cause it to look dull or faded more quickly. Another big thing that contributes to hair color fading is hard water. Hard water is water that is full of minerals and also usually contains chlorine. What hard water does is it creates kind of like a scaly film around the hair, which prevents it from absorbing moisture. It also can affect your scalp health, which can just make your scalp feel dry and itchy, or it can make it overly oily, making you feel like you have to wash it more, which can also contribute to color fading a little bit more. Some minerals can bond to the hair and weigh the hair down, as well as it interacts with the hair dye, and it can cause dullness, it can cause fading, and in some cases it can even cause your color to look uneven. If you're showering with hot water and you have hard water, guess what that's going to do? Hot water is going to open the cuticle, and the minerals in the hard water are going to go into your hair strand, and it's just going to make things way worse. Hard water can also spike the pH of the hair, which will disrupt the cuticle within its own right. So the most problematic things within hard water are calcium, magnesium, and chlorine. The fix to this problem is to get a filter for your shower head, or if you can get a filter for your whole house. But starting with just like a shower head filter will definitely do the job. A lot of the shower head filters on the market will only filter out chlorine. So that's why I wanted to mention calcium and magnesium. So when you're looking for a shower head filter, it is important to make sure that the shower head can filter out those minerals as well as the chlorine. So if you find a shower head filter that can filter out all of those things, then you're good to go. Your skin and your hair and your scalp are going to be feeling so much better. I started using shower head filter I think it was at the end of 2022, I think. I cannot even tell you how much of a difference it made for my hair and my skin. My scalp feels so much healthier, first of all. I feel like it's just way more balanced and regulated, as well as my color lasts so much longer. And I feel like my hair looks shiny and soft way longer as well. And then my skin is also less dry. I do have a shower head filter that I love, which I will link down below. You can get it on Amazon. It's $40. It's the best. It filters out all those things that you don't want in your water. You want to replace it every 5 to 7 months, depending on where you live. So I live in Albuquerque, and we have, I think, level 7 to 10 hard water. You can actually look up the hardness of the water in your area. There's even one that's higher, which that's crazy. So I change my shower head filter every 5 months when I remember. Sometimes it goes a little longer and I really notice it. My hair will just look terrible. I'm like, oh, I think I need to change my filter. And if you feel like you have some hard water buildup, or you're worried about how hard water might affect your color, you should reach out to your stylist and ask them if they can do a treatment on your hair. One thing that I did whenever I first got my shower head filter is I did a hard water treatment before I even used my shower head filter. So it's a pretty easy fix, and it's definitely a $40 that you won't regret. So another thing that affects color fading is poor heat practices. Heat can fade your color. But why? It opens the cuticle and causes moisture and the color to escape from the hair strand. You probably have seen those viral videos of, I think Brad Mondo had posted one, and I don't even know, a bunch of people have posted them, where they put their curling iron or their straightener on really high heat, and then they do a pass, and you can see that the side where the heat was on, the toner is basically gone, and then you can see at the bottom of the hair where they didn't do heat that it is still toned. So then what are some good heat practices? First of all, if you are using a really high heat, I promise you don't need to. You can lower that baby down to 350, 300, sometimes even 275 to 250 for finer hair. And this one, which you probably hear all the time, is to use heat protectant. There's a reason why stylists preach this, and it is because without using heat protectant, your hair is just going to be more damaged, more dry, your color's going to fade. It's like going into the sun and not wearing sunscreen, which I know some people are guilty of. And I'm not here to judge, but whether or not you wear sunscreen, you know that UV damages your skin. So just like we put sunscreen on our skin to protect ourselves from burning in the sun, let's put some heat protectant on our hair to protect our hair from burning in the heat. Using poor heat practices can just really cause your hair to be dry, which we've already mentioned this a few times, but dry hair doesn't look as shiny, doesn't look as lustrous, and that will cause your hair to look faded and dull. Finally, we can talk about cheap products. I'm just going to kind of broadly name off a few reasons why cheap products can be problematic, but if you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm not trying to judge anybody or hate on anybody. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But if you're curious as to why stylists preach about salon grade products, here's a few reasons why. First things first, a lot of cheap products have a pretty high pH, which can do, guess what? Open the cuticle. And what does opening the cuticle do? Causes the color to slip out and causes your hair to dry out. A lot of cheap products contain plastics and petrochemicals, which can build up on the hair, causing it to lose shine and luster and look dull, as well as prevent it from absorbing moisture properly, which will dry it out. Another thing with cheap products is a lot of times they contain high amounts of alcohol, sulfates, and silicone, which strip the hair. And sometimes with alcohol, it's actually hidden within the ingredients inside fragrances. So if your product has a heavy fragrance to it, it's probably really high in alcohol levels. And sometimes you just need a toner. I recommend my clients coming in for a toner every 4 to 10 weeks. And where you fall within that range depends on your hair type, what kind of color you have, as well as your hair care at home, which includes a lot of the things that I just talked about. Now, if you are not ready for a toner, or maybe you want to space out your appointments a little bit more, there is one thing you can do at home that I talk about all the time to my guests, and that is color depositing products. Color depositing products include purple shampoo and purple conditioner, blue shampoo, blue conditioner, as well as products that just straight up deposit color into the hair, not tone it. Purple shampoo and conditioner, as well as blue shampoo and conditioner, are both toning shampoos. If you have blonde hair, then you would use the purple shampoo to control some of the yellow tones within the hair. And if you have brunette highlights, then you would use blue shampoo or conditioner to control some of those orange tones that you might see. Color depositing products, not color toning products, will directly deposit a pigment onto the hair strand. Most of the time, these pigments will just lay on top of the cuticle, and while they can last a few washes, you'll probably have to apply them more frequently than you would a toner or a color out of salon. But they are a great way to maintain your color at home. I recommend color depositing products to pretty much all of my redhead clients because red is a color that can fade pretty quickly. But if you get a copper or a red hair mask or shampoo at home, you can do that when you feel like your color is faded, and it will just add that vibrancy and life right back to your hair. If you have any more questions about how to maintain your color, or you want me to elaborate on anything I just talked about, feel free to comment or send me a message. I would love to talk to you about it more. Now we can move on to some social media marketing things. So within my salon, I actually am a mentor. I do a mentorship with some stylists in my salon. This is my second round of mentoring. Last year, I mentored a stylist within my salon on her social media marketing, and it went so well. I learned a lot, and it was really cool to just watch her thrive through that mentorship. And now this year, I am doing another round of mentoring, and I'm mentoring 2 stylists, and they're killing it. It's going so well, and I also kind of love the bonding that we have. Like, we're just able to get to know each other a little bit more and hang out and talk business, which I love to talk business. One thing that I talk about with stylists within my class as well as within the mentorship is how to come up with content. For a while, I thought I was just lucky that I have content brain. I was always the person who was coming up with skits with my friends and posting them on Vine, and I would make my siblings be in plays with me. But when I intentionally thought about the way that I come up with content for my business, I was able to discover some things that I can now share with you. The first thing is I really try to intentionally pay attention to what I'm doing throughout the day or the week that I'm having. When I have a conversation with a client where I'm talking to them about something or educating them on something and it feels impactful to them, I try to remember that conversation. In the beginning stages, I used to write it down in my phone, and I use that as content because obviously if someone is asking that question, that means that that's something that they don't know. And I was given the opportunity to explain it to them. So clearly I have the knowledge to talk about it. So why not talk about it on my social media page to other clients that might be having the same struggle? Another way to come up with content is to define your niches. Niches are kind of like specialties. It's the things that we talk about the most with our clients. It's the things that we want to do within our business. And it's the things that we're most knowledgeable about. So if you clearly define your niches, then you can just use those and find topics within those niches to talk about on your social media page. Take this entire video, for example. My niches within my business are color specialist, hair health and product recommendations, and social media marketing. And guess what I'm talking about in this video? Hair health, color maintenance, and social media marketing. So defining your niches can really help you come up with content for your page and things to talk about. Another way is to get inspired. We have the internet at our fingertips. We literally have the internet in our pockets on our cell phones. Use what other creators are talking about. Use the internet. You can literally Google hair health tips or whatever you want to talk about, and you can usually find information that's worth sharing. With getting content directly from other creators, it is important to have integrity and know when to credit someone. However, within the creative professional industry, a lot of the information that we're sharing is knowledge that we didn't make up. It's knowledge that is facts and that we learned in school. And when getting inspired by content from other creators, you do want to stick with your own branding. You should be developing your own brand and your own voice online. So don't screenshot people's posts and repost them on your page. Use the knowledge that they're sharing within their post to inspire a post that you will make or a video that you will make. We'll probably talk about branding in a future video because it's something that is really important to social media marketing. I do have a post on my page about that if you want to check that out. But yeah, we're not going to go too much into branding today. That's a topic for another time. Now, you might want to give credit when it's a hair hack. If it's something pretty original, then maybe you can share the hair hack and say where you got it from. But other than that, I can't think of too many situations where you would need to worry about crediting someone, but use your discernment. I trust you. You're smart. So let's say you finally got some inspo and you know what content you're going to make. One thing that I talk about to my mentees and something that I talk about in my class is showing up and showing your face. This really taps into a topic that I talked about in the last video, which is trust and authority. Trust and authority is a type of relationship that you want within your client, stylist, or client professional dynamic. So showing up and showing your face and using your voice can help to build that trust and authority and help people to relate to you and feel connected to you. Because at the end of the day, this business that we're in is relationship driven. This industry is built on relationships, and clients don't always want to book with someone that they don't recognize. Faceless accounts can do well, and I know plenty of stylists who are successful and they only post hair content. But one thing that I've noticed is it's a lot harder to make an impact that way, especially for people who are newer in the field. A lot of my friends that don't post themselves and they are busy are people who have been in the industry for a little bit. But you need your money and your clients now. You can't wait for years for people to just find you and notice that the hair that you do is good. So putting yourself out there and sharing your knowledge and showing your face is a really great way to grow your community and clientele in a more impactful way. I actually talked about this recently with my mentees about how to feel confident and comfortable on camera and filming yourself. Putting yourself out there can be uncomfortable, so I want to talk about a few things that might help you to shift your mindset around filming yourself and posting yourself on social media. One of the biggest things is feeling a little bit insecure, or maybe you're having imposter syndrome. I want you to try and think of it this way. Let's say that you're having lunch with your friend and they are a creative business professional and they say to you, I think I'm going to start filming videos where I talk about my knowledge and I share it on social media. I highly doubt it that you're going to look at your friend and you're going to be like, ooh, that's super weird and dumb. You should not do that. You would not do that. That's so weird, first of all. But also, wouldn't you feel excited for your friend that they want to put themselves out there and share the knowledge that they have? I don't know about you, but if my friend told me that, I would be like, hell yes. How can I support you? I'm going to like and comment on the videos when you put them out. You're so smart in your field. Share your knowledge, friend. That's how I would react. And I hope that the people that I attract to this page would also react the same way to their friend. But seriously, one thing that I have made an intention to do in my life is to talk to myself like I would talk to my friend. Because at the end of the day, you have to be your biggest friend and you have to be your biggest supporter. It doesn't really matter what other people think. As long as you feel proud of yourself and you feel good about what you're doing, the people that value you and what you're saying will come to you. And the people who judge you and they don't like it, they will unfollow you and they will leave, and that's good because we don't want those people there. So try to be gentle with yourself. We are usually our worst critics, when half the time the criticism is simply just being mean to yourself and overthinking it. Now that kind of leads me into another topic, which is overthinking. One thing that I hear a lot from all the mentees that I have had is that they will record themselves or they'll be recording themselves and then they overthink what they're saying and they get stuck. They just stop. Overthinking what you're doing can really just paralyze you and cause you to not even do it at all. The only way to feel more comfortable and more confident is to just move forward. And the more you do something, the better you will get at it. Sometimes I look back at the old content that I made, and while I don't hate it, I definitely see places where I can improve it, and I've made notes for myself and moved on. But you have to start somewhere. If you never record yourself, if you never post it, you're never going to grow. If you think back to when you very first started in your career, you probably felt like you didn't know what you were talking about. It was probably a little awkward, you were shy, maybe you messed up a little bit, or you miscommunicated, or you just weren't feeling like you really knew what you were talking about. But the more you do it and the more you show up, the more comfortable you got with it and the better you got. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Whenever I first started doing hair, I wasn't that confident. I was a little bit shy, and I honestly would pick up the scissors or my clippers or whatever and be like, who allowed me to do this? And it was imposter syndrome speaking. But I kept showing up and I kept doing the damn thing, and eventually it got easier and I got more comfortable and I got better. The same rules apply to content making and social media marketing. The more you do it, the more comfortable you will be and the better you will get. So you have to start somewhere. Just post the video and move forward. You can't grow if you don't start. Self-doubt, negative self-talk, and overthinking will only hinder you from growing and moving forward and building your business. It's 2024. Let's be nicer to ourselves. Put yourself out there. You paid all that money for your training, for your schooling. You have knowledge to share. I promise you, you're smart. You know what you're talking about. I literally told one of my mentees to watch a positive affirmations video before they film themselves, because that is something that I used to do at the beginning. I'm telling you, I would be about to record myself. I had all my materials ready. I felt like prepared on paper, but then when it came to talking to the camera, I was like, you look so weird and you actually don't know what you're talking about. So what I started to do was to watch positive affirmation videos like, you are confident, you are strong, you are brave, you are smart, and just hype myself up before recording. And then you just hit record. You just have to go with it and try to be nice to yourself. Don't judge yourself. Another thing you can do to help you feel a little bit less self-conscious is maybe record from your back camera instead of your front camera, so you're not like looking at yourself the whole time. Whenever I'm in therapy, I turn the screen that shows me, I turn it off. I don't want to look at myself while I'm in therapy. Such an interesting parallel, but it's true. Like, you don't always want to look at yourself. Also, one of the biggest tips that I share to pretty much everyone that I talk to about recording videos and posting them is to just continuously film and then cut pieces out. Don't start and stop the video over and over again. You're going to lose your flow, you're going to lose your groove, and that's going to make you overthink what you're doing, and you're just going to get stuck in your own head. So start the video, have your little talking points or your script, and just roll with it. If you mess up, pause, take a breath, remind yourself what you're going to say, and keep moving forward. For me, that's something that really helps me, is I just literally film the entire time. This video, let me see how long this video is right now. I started recording at I started recording at 3:45. It is 4:45 right now, and I am pretty much done. But let's see how long this video is. I've been recording for an hour. Do you know, if I'm not going to include them because that's too much, but I would stop, remind myself what I'm talking about, and continue, because I have messed up many times in this video. You just don't know, because I cut it. So you just film yourself and cut it. A video app that I love. I will preach this forever. I've actually used it for so long. My video editing app is Splice. Splice, it's the best. I started using it in high school because I was in theater and we had to make little short films and things, and so we used Splice to cut them up and edit them. And I have tried other video apps along the way, and Splice just keeps coming through. It's the best through and through. Highly recommend Splice if you need a video editing app. Those are some of my tips to how to feel more confident when you're putting yourself out there online. Let me just say this really quick. Are you judging me for putting myself out there and sharing my knowledge? If you are, you can leave. But my suspicion is if you're watching this right now, you're probably not. So if you're not judging me for it, don't judge yourself. If you post a video showing your face and you need a hype woman, comment on one of my videos be like, just posted my first face video, and I will literally go hype you up. Don't judge yourself. Be nice to yourself. I promise it's gonna be okay. That is all that I have for you today. If you missed the last video, it's not my favorite video, but like we just talked about, we have to move forward. If you missed my last video, go check it out. It's on my YouTube. I hope you guys learned a lot in this video, and thanks for sticking around. I can't wait to see you in the next episode. But yeah, that's it. Okay, bye.